Hello, it's Matt Heaton here in the Backer's Corner. Get back to your corner. And today we're going to talk a little about some rhythmic ideas. We had a question about how to sort of vary the rhythmic aspects of your backing, particularly like getting away from the constant stream of eighth notes, that kind of a thing. And so this is an interesting question because definitely when I teach guitar, the first thing that I'm always telling people is, choo-choo train, chuck it, chuck it, chuck it, chuck it, chuck it, chuck it, chuck it for a reel, right? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then jigs, but when you put that into practice, is that really what you're supposed to do? And yes and no. So the way I think of it is my hand is constantly, I'll talk about reels first. My hand is constantly going up and down. But the trick is I am not always hitting every note. In the same way, it's like a counterpart to playing chords. You don't have to hit every string every time. In fact, you don't want to hit every string every time. That becomes a bit much, right? It's so let's take. I'm thinking of Joe Cooley's reel because it's very simple chordally. We can think about playing E minor and D, right? 2 bars of E minor, 2 bars of D. If I just go like this, ready and. Right? That's filling an awful lot of space. It really is. Is there a way that I could do that and still, keep the chunky, but not kind of cover everything? Sure. You could, be some different voicings and maybe some muty. But I'll try it with the big voicing for a minute and see if I can just. So here, you can see right away I'm only playing the lowered strings. And I'm often, when I'm changing chords, I'm often leaving out the upstroke. So something like dum dugga 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 dum. Right? To take that, so you can always leave notes out. You can always, whether you are leaving notes of the chord out or notes of your right hand out, you leaving things out, but keeping them going in your head, I think that's kind of what I'm after. So, were I to use some different voicings on this, like here is how I might tend to approach this tune, depending largely on who's playing the melody. But something like this, maybe. So I'm playing E minor and a D up here, 3 and. So one thing, I'm adding a little kind of pulsy thing with the fingers. So I'm pressing them up and down. I'm still getting the ticky with the big strings, but I'm kind of. That's kind of I definitely am stealing that from pipers. That's kind of my fake pipe move. but it again, it just kind of breaks it up a little bit more. I'm still at this point, I'm still pretty much playing everything, right? If I want to drive something forward or kind of accentuate something, that's when I'm going to go to a more like syncopated, more upstroke, accenting the upstrokes kind of a thing. Let me see if I can, for example, if I want to go right? So on that other chord, I'm on the D chord. So I'm playing, I mean, it's a pattern, bum, 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 dum, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Still the same down, up, down, up, down, down, but just where the accents are falling, down, up, down, right? I don't really, unless it's some sort of like band arrangement where there's a specific groove, I really don't think in patterns at all. I think about tunes and how to accompany them nicely. What I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not looking for like a bunch of, you know, like just kind of, you know, I'm not really looking for a list of grooves I could conceivably play over something that's in 4/4. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I won't play something like that, but it just, there's got to be kind of a reason for me to do it. And very often the changing parts from like an A part to a B part, or B to A, whatever, that often can, a little push can be nice there. And so if you're doing something a little more restrained up to that point, you could kind of, you know, give it a little more shtick, maybe a, you know, a syncopated thing, or just a louder thing, or if you're, you know, or if you've been really laying low, right, like going like, you know, you know, if you want to crescendo into something, bringing in more actual strokes. You can, I mean, depending on the situation and the mood, you know, that's some, you know, you can do the like the drum roll thing. Don't tell anyone I told you to do that, though. No, I mean, it's a really exciting move if you pull it off extremely well. If you mess that one up, it's kind of embarrassing, because it's such a like, look at me kind of a moment, and if you're like, look at me, whoops, then, you know, that's not so good. But it's basically, you know, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you can, you know, practice that on one string and with a metronome. What else can I tell you? With the reels, you know, sneaky, where I'm just playing the downs. And to hear, you know, I'm still getting a boom, ba, 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 ba. And then when the change, I tend to throw in a little more. And then for the original idea of this video was supposed to be talking about, doing one texture in the A part and a different texture in the B part. But the more I thought about it, I don't know that I really consciously am doing that with the right hand as much. I might do if I'm trying to do something dramatic, I might do a big chordal shift or something, or one of my favorite moves in coulis is like there's in an E minor tune you can sometimes play a C chord, which can sound really cool depending on the tune. The place where I would choose to put it is the top of a B part. So like right. So pushing into that, I might get kind of frisky to signal that something big and important is about to happen. And then when you play it, if you've got a nice voicing for it, let it ring, right? And then always, come back down. It's not about you. So I guess, a lot of it, the right hand and the left hand, you can't really separate. Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're really working together, and they have to be in sync for what effect you're trying to get. That makes sense? You can work on them independently, of course. Like mute the strings, practice. Nice loose strumming and all that. But for when you're actually playing a tune, it's kind of impossible to talk about one without the other because they affect each other so much. Make sense? I haven't talked about jigs at all, so let me talk about jigs. So similarly, I am a down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up guy. So whether or not I'm articulating every note of that, every beat, which, I'm likely not, but I'm still thinking it in my head. So let me think of a tune. So one of the things I love to do in jigs is like really kind of separate the high notes from the low notes. The low notes are where all the that's where all the money is. That's where you're getting the spelling out harmonies and things. And the high notes are like your ride cymbal. They're kind of just giving this nice, keeping the rhythm going. Which means I'm not going to play them as loud, right? So that separation is really is a nice effect. Another thing that can be nice is leaving the down up pattern and going to this, and the situations I would do that kind of makes it, changes the feel, obviously, and what it does, I find it can make a nice push. So if you wanted to go boom, like really emphasize the dup, like the kind of, it makes a little hemiola thing. You just have to keep track of which of those patterns you're doing, obviously. And again, there are like groovy things, like you know patterns you can make up for jigs. I don't really, I don't, I don't really think of it that way. I mean, I try to really, I, well, for one thing, my goal is often to be like more smooth anyway, but I really like it when you're just trying to follow the tune, right? If it's a tune that has, no, I'm not gonna be able to think of one, but if it's a tune that has some like syncopated thing, like, yeah, bring that out. You can like go along with the syncopated thing. You can play off of it. You can do all these things. But if you're just playing like your sort of average jig in a session kind of a jig, I don't. I really I'm really just trying to hear the tune. And even if I'm, if I'm not playing anything harmonically important, I might, get quieter. Might play those notes not as loudly as the other thing that does is this note is ringing long. I'm not going. I'm going. Which means you've got one thing that's going da, 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 it's broken up, and then a lower thing that's going bum. So it further makes that makes the instrument sound like more than one instrument, or maybe a little bit like that. Okay, so to wrap up, patterns, never heard of them. The only patterns you need are down up and down up down, right? And within those, any other like strumming pattern is basically just leaving strokes out of one of those two patterns, and which ones you choose to leave out is kind of depends on the tune and the people you're playing with and the feel that has been established and the feel that you're going for, and it just there's all these variables that go into how you approach playing these tunes, and your goal is to support those melodies. And if so, I sometimes you can really support that melody by giving them a little push. They need a little push sometimes, They're like getting to the end of the B part, and how's it going to get exciting again? You give it a little, extra strum, a little extra sauce there, and then that takes you back to the next part, and maybe it makes it more exciting. And then knowing when to stay out of the way, knowing when to just you are just there to lay down this one chord, and you're just gonna make it as smooth and nice as you possibly can. I think is a laudable goal, and one that I'm still going for myself. So I hope some of that is helpful. It certainly wasn't in any order, but if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments, and I will answer them all. And if you have any other topics you'd like to hear, just drop us a line, and we'll see if we can get it on the Backer's Corner. Thank you very much.